This is a huge issue for Australia. Oil and gas cleanups. Who foots the bill? As we know, Exxon, the biggest oil company in the US, is trying to flog its Bass Strait assets that it runs with BHP. It's been pulling oil out of the Bass Strait since the 1970s. Now it's trying to sell them. But who's it going to sell them to? It's not really going to foot a multi-billion dollar cleanup bill to cap these wells and to make sure they don't leak into the sea. This week we exposed Woodside. Woodside has an asset, has an oil rig in the Timor Sea, which it sold this oil rig to a tin pot company. This company then went broke. The cleanup bill now falls to the taxpayer. It'll be 200 million or so just for this one rig. Here's the irony though. When the company went into liquidation, the small company that had bought this from Woodside, the government's regulator, NOPSEMA, thought, well, what are we going to do? We have to keep the lights on this thing. We can't just abandon it. So what do? They hire Woodside back on a consultancy basis to look after this thing. So now taxpayers are paying Woodside millions of dollars a week to look after this asset after they'd flogged it to a company which went into liquidation. Now, if oil companies around Australia, which are mostly foreign multinationals who pay no tax, they are the worst tax avoiders in the country, if they are allowed to just wander away without cleaning these wells up at great cost to the environment and to the taxpayer, that will be a travesty. The government needs to move. Rex Patrick has been absolutely brilliant on this. He has exposed it. Labor should get on board. This will be a massive clean-up bill. On top of the suite of big clean-ups which will be needed in thermal coal land when all these thermal coal mines go kaput. They are not properly funded for rehabilitation, for mine void rehabilitation. So in some cases there are bonds which have been lodged with the relevant state authority, but in many cases there's not much at all. There are already 20,000 mine sites in Australia, holes in the ground, that are unrehabilitated. But the really big ones, from the super cycle, from the biggest mining boom in history over the past 20 years, these are the ones which are going to entail huge costs for rehabilitation. Something needs to be done on a national level to stop these multinationals walking away without cleaning up their mess, having extracted all the minerals, all the oil and gas for generations and paying very little tax. We need action on this now.